Okay, so that's the 2 videos. This is the 3rd video now. This is the spring preload of the shock absorber. So, as I said earlier, I've got everything set to comfort. You don't need any tools for this bit, you just need your hand. So, I had it set to comfort, as I say. Right, what we're going to do is, the shock absorber is filled with high density nitrogen. It says, adhere to the description provided. Turn the hand wheel, number 1, counterclockwise as far as it will go. So looking at it, counterclockwise as far as it will go. Then turn it clockwise by the number of turns. Now it's all the same except for full payload. Now I've ridden this bike before on a trip away, and I read that, and it's really easy to just turn the preload up. So I just wound the preload up all the way, and all I had on the back really was camping gear, and that was it, a stove and some clothes. So I didn't need full payload, I didn't need full preload, but it's actually, I quite like riding the bike with the preload wound all the way up, for the simple fact, because I'm 6'1", or 6'2", something like that, I actually like the bike being taller, and winding the preload up really does make the bike taller. So I actually really like riding it like that. So just keep going all the way counterclockwise, and then once you think you're nearly there, just keep going. Come on, bloody hell. There we're there. Right, okay. Now, so the settings are as follows. Comfort is 4 turns. Standard is 4 turns. Sport is also 4 turns, but full payload is 16 turns. Turn clockwise to increase the spring preload. Turn counterclockwise to reduce it. So I can't really go into why you would need to do this or want to do this. You'll hear it click when you do a full turn. There's 1, 2. It kind of sounds like when you crack your knuckles. 3, 4. Now, huge difference here between comfort, standard and sport being 4 turns and full payload being 16. I'm going to take it to 8. 5, 6. Do you know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to take it to 8 because I've set everything to sport anyway on the front and the rear. I'm just going to leave it at, I'm going to put it back to 4 actually. 5, 4. I'm going to see what that really feels like this evening when I go back out. And then maybe I'll do a little follow-up video of what I think, what the changes are, how it feels on the front, because if you've got this bike or a variation of it, you might find that the front end is quite soft, especially on that initial braking dive. It's got pretty good brakes, you know, Brembos. They're good brakes, good strong brakes. It's a heavy bike, you know, it's gonna suffer from dive, but which you want some dive, but it really does feel quite wallowy sometimes, especially today. Having set the bike to comfort everything, it has felt quite wallowy, but nice because it's smooth and it's soft and it's compliant. And if you go over bumps and things, yeah, it's easy. You can feel the front wheel really nicely. You can feel what the tire's doing, the transference. It's good. It's a nice bike to ride on the road with the comfort settings. But let's see what sport feels like. So just to go through there, what tools we used: 17mm for the high speed compression. The low speed compression, you just need a flathead screwdriver, and for the front you need your hands and this 24mm finger spinny thing. That's it. That's all you need. If you've got the S version, it's all electronic, which is all the rage nowadays. Even sports bikes are coming with electronics, Öhlins, this, that and the other. These need to go back in the toolkit. But this bike's manual, which I don't mind, you know. I quite like being the one to adjust things. I'm not saying I'm better at it than a computer, because a computer can do it on the fly, but I just like it. Call me old-fashioned. This bag is falling apart, so you can see why. I've got the reg, just to keep it all together, keep it from flying out. It's a good little space, that, enough for the toolkit, enough for an oversized toolkit anyway. And a rag, and you could put maybe a few little spare pieces and bits in there when you go away. Or my lime green cable ties there from when I put the bike back together after doing the valves last time. Is that in properly? Yeah. So that's it. Next job for me, brake fluid at the front. Only thing is, I can't undo the cap, so I've got a new bottle that's come down, but I need to figure out a way to take this off without, I can't take the cap off because it's rusted. The bolts have seized. So what I'm thinking I might do is drill a hole nice and slowly in the cap. Use this. The fuck was that? It was either a cat or a squirrel. Drill a hole, use a syringe, which I've got, take out the fluid, then take this bottle away, put the new one on, and then bleed the system. I think that's going to be the best way for me to do that. If anyone else has got any other ideas, let me know, because it's a bit of a pain in the arse job. I haven't bled these brakes before, actually, so I don't know how bad they're going to be. The last brakes I bled were some what are they, Tokiko off that, and they're 6 piston, and they're, well, I rebuilt the calipers with new seals and stuff, and they were a pain in the arse to bleed. They really were. I also got some new bolts. I've started buying these bolts. Well, I've started buying bolts to replace things like this. Like these, they're just a bit ugly, a bit rusty. You probably could just take these out and clean them. But I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get new bolts. They're not cheap, actually. They're £4.10 each, these. Which, had I have known, I would have just taken those out and tried to clean them and spray them or something. But I didn't realise they were £4.10 until I went to pay for them. So I won't be doing that again. But just things like this, you've got the showings of rust. And it just detracts from the bike, you know? It's just like, oh, it's just a bit shit looking. So, yeah, get some metal auto sol on there, clean that up, make that look nice. All this bit, I could, you know, you can see here, nice new bolts for the radiator. It makes a little bit of a difference, you know. And then these ones in the parcel tray, these were really rusty as well, but they look nice, being bright. Still need to get a bracket made for that, but it's on there. It's strong. It's just held on with a bit of wire. Well, it's not held on with a wire. The wire doesn't do anything. It's actually clamped properly and it's strong. I wouldn't lay it down on it, but anyway, beside the point. So yeah, that's today's job. Do the suspension and change these bolts, which they already come with Loctite, but I might put a dot more on. I should really bleed the brakes and clean the calipers at the same time and then put these back on. So do you know what, I might do that later instead, because today, now what I should really do is, how the hell has that happened? What I should really do is sand the frame on Stella. I'm going to do that instead. Oh, and eat my salad. I need to eat my salad. I'm going to listen to a podcast. I'm going to get on with some jobs. So goodbye.